Sports Timeout Podcast with Jensen Maydew, Tony Caranco, and your host, Wes Underwood.
And welcome into the Sports Timeout Podcast, brought to you by Jefferson's. And, March is here and the madness is here. $1 wings, all March Madness. Get in and get that deal. And Robert's Integrative Dentistry in Joplin this next week, coming up on the 28th from 2 to 6 p.m. They will have a special prize drawing, or actually multiple prize drawings, on Invisalign Day, and the promo price of $3,500, as well as special financing deals you won't want to miss. And catch that next Thursday. So be sure to schedule your appointment today as well at 417-622-0404. And get that brighter, straighter smile. Wes Underwood, Clint out, Tony out, Jensen out this week. So I'll be flying solo. But before we get started, go ahead and make sure to hit that like, subscribe, follow button on YouTube. And first up, we talk NCAA March Madness. The field was set, and not pretty confident in my bracket. I mean, BYU let me down, and Oakland, wow, way to go over Kentucky, and a lot more. Boise lost. I really wanted them to get in. I did a 68-team field and got those first 4 playing games, and was really going for Boise. Didn't quite happen, but I mean, on the men's side, my national champion's still there. I believe I picked, actually, I don't remember. I apologize. On the women's side, though, I picked Stanford to win it all. So on the men's, not quite certain where I'm going to go with that one. Kentucky's out. I definitely didn't have them winning, though. So I don't know. We'll keep that going. I'll give a better update next week on my field there. But just talking NCAA March Madness and who you guys got. Go ahead and put it in our comments and let us know who you got because we would like to know. But next up we'll go over to the MLB, and opening week is next week, and notable matchups. We got Freddie Peralta and Jose Quintana, Spencer Strider and Zach Wheeler. The Twins and the Royals have Lopez going up against Reagans. The Yankees, they have Nestor Cortez up against Framber Valdez of the Astros. And then the Cubs have Steele against Eovaldi. And from the defending champ Rangers is where Eovaldi's coming from there. But, I mean, I'm pretty excited for these matchups. I'm really looking forward to the Royals opening day. I mean, it's going to be a good one. Yankees, Nestor Cortez going up against Framber Valdez. That could be a really good matchup. But in the MLB opening week, I'm just excited for baseball to be back. I really am. It's been fun to watch the offseason and see what the Royals have done there. And being a Missouri guy here, Cardinals have done pretty well too, bringing in-house guys in and getting stuff done. I mean, Waino leaves. Pujols and Yachty left the year before, but now Yachty comes back, I believe, as a bench coach. And then you got Murmal in there and doing his thing. And I just like the positivity coming out of St. Louis and Kansas City for baseball. Both of them show great potential this year. The Royals went and loaded up their bullpen. They hired some guys that could potentially fit in the infield and outfield just to bring that, elder leadership in, as I would say, to be able to take that on. I mean, it's going to be awesome to watch on Kansas City's side, and I'm excited for opening day up at Kauffman. And I hope that everything goes well to where they're able to keep Kauffman in Jackson County. I don't want to see it move downtown. That's been a big distraction this whole offseason. I think that's really helped these guys be able to focus on what they need to focus on because they're looking good in the spring. I mean, they're not 100% there yet, but they're able to get things going, and they've been competing all spring. And Pasquantino looks healthy for the Royals. Waka looked pretty decent on the mound. And all the other guys. I mean, Bobby Witt Jr. is looking good. And, You got Isbell out in the outfield. He's looking good. And then you got those guys that just came in, and a lot of them to name, and it's fantastic to see. So I'm excited to see where they're going to go. I'm excited for the Royals. And on the Cardinals side, I mean, for me, it's hard to say, but I really am impressed what they've been doing. I think they look good this spring too. They got a few things here and there in the bullpen to fix up on that side, but I do see them making the playoff as a wild card team. I see them getting in there. I mean, they've been worse than what they are now, but I do see the Cardinals making the wild card, and if they can win that division, if they can win the NL Central, then prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. But I think they come in, maybe behind the Brewers. Maybe behind the Brewers. Cubs look decent, but you know, we'll see where it goes. Cubs always start off strong and then they kind of fizzle out. So they had that one year, 2016. So we'll see. We'll see. Next up in the MLB, we'll talk the Dodgers and Shohei Ohtani. And well, he had his interpreter fired on Wednesday afternoon after the guy was asked about $4.5 million in wire transfers from his bank account. I mean, hello, this guy was stealing money to cover up gambling debts, and you'd think he'd be in deep water, but Otani's reps are asking for an investigation to make sure the allegations hold, and I'm not quite sure I understand what's going on here. I mean, you got a guy who's in there, he's taking your money. I feel like you're pretty well aware of it to be able to go up to him and be like, well, I mean, he had debt and I don't want to see him struggle. And I don't know. It's a different situation. I mean, Otani is a great guy on and off the field. He's very humble, and he's a guy who would protect someone like that who's come in and just attacked him, basically taking his money and using it for his good. And I mean, who's to say Ohtani isn't fully knowledgeable on this? I don't know. There's just a lot of miscommunication here, and I just can't quite understand what's going on in this situation. I mean, right now I really don't have many thoughts on it, but I just feel like he can be okay with it, then so should we. If he can be okay with it, then so should we, because he doesn't seem too phased by it. I think he's just kind of doing it to get out in the media. The media kind of asked him about it, and he's just trying to, I don't know, maybe cater into the media's thing here. I don't know. We'll find out more. There's just not enough on this topic to keep elaborating on, but it just seems fishy right now. It seems fishy. But yeah, we'll see where it ends up. Ohtani, good luck this year. I like you with the Dodgers. I think it was a good move to go there, stay in LA. Yeah, you're good. You're good. And now we briefly talk the NFL and the hip drop tackle. And well, I'm gonna go ahead and pull up this article here because I've been reading into this for a few days now, and the story finally broke. But NFL officials back the proposed hip drop tackle NFL rule change amid the protests. And well, according to the competition committee chairman, Rich McKay, the proposed rule was written to address only a subset of the rugby tackling style that has spread around the NFL in recent years. And it calls for a 15-yard penalty if a defender grabs a runner with both hands or wraps the runner with both arms and unweights himself by swiveling and dropping his hips or lower body, landing and trapping the runner's legs, or at or below. Sorry, confusing to read that there. The knee. And I mean, NFL Players Association, they join many of the current and former players in objecting to the proposal this week. I mean, they're in favor of these tackles. They think that it's fine. I mean, rugby players are doing it, is kind of what they're going off of there. And I, I don't know. It needs approval of 24 owners, though, to pass. In a statement posted on social media, the NFLPA said the rule would cause confusion among players, coaches, officials, and fans. And I don't know. Both McKay and Vincent strongly implied Thursday that the rule would likely be enforced in similar ways to that of the use of the helmet rule, which typically leads to warning letters and fines. And okay, we're done with the warning letters. We're done with the fines. Understand the helmet hits, but this one I feel is a bit of a stretch. I mean, what was it? I'm gonna look back here. 25 times higher on the injury rate. What's your 25 times? Like out of 25 players getting hit, out of 5, out of 1, 1 out of 1. I don't know. If it's 1 out of 1 and it's up 25 times higher, okay. But I don't know. I don't know where they're getting their numbers here. I don't know what they're doing. I I feel like I'm with the players in the NFLPA here. Like, just leave it alone. You're changing a lot in the last few years. You're confusing the fan bases. You're confusing the players. The players have to go through these rule books during mini camps and they have to be refreshed on this. You have the officials who are never clear on the rules. They're always going back and forth. And then you go to the Super Bowl and rules are up and down and up and down and up and down. And it's just like, where are we going with this? Like, it's called every other play. They don't ever call it like holding. Holding is supposed to be called anytime the linemen, defense or offensive, are holding each other and they're pinning each other up. They're grabbing around the neck. They're grabbing under the pads. They're pulling on the jersey and holding players back and making sure that they don't get by them after they've already passed them and stuff like that. I mean, it's not always going to be called. It's never always going to be called. Which is why I don't understand why they're wanting to do this, because this is going to add so much more confusion to the NFL game. You've got these Swifties that have come in, and they've done fairly well at watching the rules and being able to keep up with the game. But now you're going to add this in, and they don't know what a tackle is. They don't know what a holding is. And then you're going to throw this in there, a hip drop. A lot of people are going to be sitting there like, what's a hip drop? Like, are they going to pop it, drop it, lock it on the field or what? I don't know. I don't know. It seems a little bogus to me. I really hope the PA and the owners vote against it. I don't want to see that change right now until we have more study on it. 25% higher. What? I still don't get that number. Like, if you give me player to player ratio and you show me that it's up higher, then I don't know. That's what I need. I need the player to player ratio here. But landing on trapping the runner on the legs, that's going to be so confusing because you got so many people who just trip and fall on the field because their cleats get locked in the turf. That's a whole nother topic. The Kelsey brothers have touched on that. I'm against turf. I want natural grass in all the stadiums. But then you get the domes that put the natural grass in and they can't keep it from being slick. So I don't know. It's a lose-lose, win-win either way. Whatever you want to say, it's a catch-22. It's catch-22. But these players that are going to land on the runner's legs or below the knee, like, how do you make a tackle? What do you want them to do? Grab them around the chest and throw them to the ground? Because that's a penalty too. That's unsportsmanlike conduct. You're picking them up off the ground. You're throwing them down. I don't know. This one's going to get me. I'm sure I'm not the only one here, but it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And next, we go ahead and shift to the NBA, and we'll go ahead and talk playing games. With 12 games left in the regular season as of last night, in the East, Boston is the only team with a solid lock in their position. They have been locked in the playoffs. They have an 11-game lead, a pretty commanding lead in the East. But we also just have 5 teams in elimination total in the league. And with everyone else still playing for play-in spots or a bye, we'll go ahead and start in the East. Milwaukee, Cleveland, New York, Orlando, Indiana, Miami, Philly, and Chicago still have a chance of being in and out of a first round bye, or past the first round bye. Like, they could be kicked out and put in the playing games, or they can be up in the bye. So come back at me after a few more games. Let's go in about 6 more games, and then I can get more accurate with that one. But kind of the same thing over in the West. Atlanta, Brooklyn, Charlotte, they all have a chance at the final spot. But it's crazy to. But my question is, Atlanta, Chicago, and Philly, do they stay in the play-in? I think they do. I'm gonna stay in the East here. Sorry, I kind of backtracked. I'm gonna stay in the East here, and I'm gonna go with them. I say Chicago, Philly, stay in. Atlanta, maybe. Atlanta, maybe. But yeah. In the West, it's close for everyone from the 9 seed all the way up. It could potentially be a number 1 seed as of now. Again, next week it will be a little bit more clear, but the West is way more confusing. But the last 4 in right now, currently, are going to be Golden State at the 10 spot, 9 with the Lakers, Suns at 8, and the Cavs at 7. And those will be your play-in positions. The Rockets are knocking on the door. They showed up good against the Bulls last night. That was a good game to watch. But do the Rockets make it in over any of those 4 teams? Or do those 4 teams all stay in? You know, the Rockets really could leap over Golden State if Golden State decides to go into a slump. But I want to say Golden State makes it in. I think they end up maybe even hopping the Lakers because LeBron's probably going to have a couple more games where he'll sit out, or Davis as well. I think the Lakers make it in the playing games. Suns and the Cavs, I think they stay. I like where they're at. They both look decent. It's going to be fun matches to watch up. And I just like where they're at. Golden State, though, they're my question mark. They're my bubble team right now. I don't know if they're going to make it, but if they can continue to win, which I know that's really ironic to say, but I like Golden State staying in there. I like the Lakers staying in there. I don't see LeBron and his team getting out unless if someone gets hurt, like I just mentioned a little bit ago. If him or AD get hurt down the stretch, then they're going to be out. But that's crazy. All the way from the 9 seed up in this conference, they could all potentially be at a shot for the number 1 seed. And that's crazy. I mean, you got Oklahoma City up there right now with a half game lead, and they could fall all the way down to the 7 spot, depending on how big of a streak they go on. If they go on a win streak, if they go on a losing streak, it's going to be something to watch. It's going to be something to watch. And I'm a deep down Oklahoma City Thunder fan. I'm really a Bulls fan, which is why I think Chicago will stay in. But I could also see Chicago getting out because of a lot of injuries that are going on there too. So there's a giant mess there. I think they need to fire the head coach and Donovan, but we'll see. We'll see where that goes. That's a whole nother story for another day. But yeah, that's where I stand on the conferences here, and the last 4 in and out as well. So next up, we move on to soccer, and we talk the NWSL and the Kansas City Current. Last weekend was a blast. We saw 9 total goals, and the game didn't disappoint. I actually got a chance to catch up with newcomer Sophie Braun, there. Had a bit of a hiccup. And we talked her career along with her signing with the Current. Take a look.
And we bring in current midfielder Sophie Braun. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. Happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Anytime. And well, go ahead and get a little background for all the fans. You signed in on the off season with the Current this year, and you played your collegiate career at Gonzaga. Then you have played dual national for the U.S. and Argentina. You got to play in the 2023 Women's World Cup for Argentina, scoring a goal against South Africa. That's pretty impressive resume already there for you. But what helped you with your decision to join the Current this offseason with all that behind you?
Thank you. Yeah, it's been great. I was so excited to join the Current. Obviously, I think we're one of the best teams you could play for. So just getting that experience and getting to grow and learn from the people around me and compete in the NWSL is something that I was really looking forward to and excited about.
I mean, you mentioned that experience and you carry all that in with you. How do you plan to let that success continue in the NWSL?
Yeah, I think it's cool that I've kind of already had a chance to play against some pretty good competition. So that's always helpful, especially when kind of coming into a new environment and playing at such a high level like here in the NWSL. So obviously I'm planning on using that and kind of letting that show on the field and letting that help guide me, which has been nice, but also getting to learn from all the players around me and keep growing is something that I really wanted.
And you mentioned that there. You also come into this team with an experienced midfield, and you got DiBernardo, Labonta, Mace, Scott. I mean, that's a great group to be around. Have you been able to pick off any of their brains yet? And if so, who's kind of reached out to you the most and taking you under their wing?
Yeah, they're all amazing. Everyone on this team, even past just the midfielders. And like you said, they've got a ton of experience and are super knowledgeable. I've been super lucky. Honestly, they've all been so great and super welcoming and just helpful. And whether they're coaching me on the field or even just like absorbing and watching them and what they do has been super beneficial already. And I mean, we're just kind of getting started. So I'm excited to see what else I'm able to kind of learn from them.
Awesome. Well said. Well said. And well, next up, last week you guys grabbed that big opening weekend dub, and I mean, you guys also set multiple records as a team. And now that that's all over, what was your favorite moment from opening weekend?
Yeah, I mean, I think just kind of like the history of it all was definitely what I'll take away from it. The win also was pretty great and something that we really wanted. But I mean, just to see kind of like the growth and what it's done for women's sports is so cool and just so special to be a part of. And I hope it's only the beginning of a trend of growing the women's game and helping inspire those girls that are coming up behind us. But it was truly special. And I'll never forget just how many people were there when our bus got there like 2 hours before the game. It was incredible just seeing all the teal and how much support we got from Kansas City was so amazing.
I mean, I'm kind of surprised that they didn't have you guys just come in on the river off a boat. That would have been kind of an epic entrance there. But
I know we saw there were a couple of fans out there.
yeah, I was looking over there throughout the game from the press box, and I'm just like, there are people out there. How'd they get? And then I saw the boat. I'm like, okay, I guess they got there about midway through the game or something, So
I know,
it was
crazy.
interesting.
Maybe next game.
Yeah. And well, lastly, we get to talk about this week, and y'all get to hit the road and take on Alex Morgan in the San Diego Wave. What's the team's mindset as you all head off on your first road game of the season?
Yeah, I mean, I think first and foremost, obviously, to get a win, that's what we're looking to do. But I think we're excited. We're coming off like a lot of momentum, but it's kind of important for us to turn the page and look at this as a completely new game, which it is. And I think we're kind of excited to just continue proving who we are and what we want to do this season.
Awesome. Well, we appreciate your time, and good luck the rest of the year, and hopefully get to talk to you again.
Thank you so much. I'm looking forward to it.
Have a good one.
Great stuff from her. Can't wait to see her on the pitch. I mean, I'm excited for her. Also, last week was thrilling enough. I mean, Mahomes was there. ESPN was there. The ownership team was there, popping bottles after the game, just spraying all the fans that were season ticket members. That was fun to watch. Mayor Q was in the house. You had the commissioner there. The Air Force was in attendance with the all-female pilots. That was pretty cool to see. Former women's national team was there. And, I mean, it was just an incredible atmosphere. And it was awesome overall to see. It was great. I loved it. And you know what? In fact, I actually got some footage while I was there. So take a look from what I got to see from the press box.
Let's go, crazy boys.
was great. They take on the Wave this weekend, and hopefully the momentum keeps rolling. I like this young Kansas City Current team to win here. Next up, we go ahead and talk Sporting, and well, they got it big win at home last week, and got them back up in the standings. But real quick, I actually got a chance to catch up with their newest rookie goalkeeper. Take a look at that.
And yeah, we bring in the 22nd overall pick in the MLS Super Draft this year, and that is Ryan Schewe. How are you, sir?
Doing well. How about yourself?
Man, I couldn't ask for a better day this week. We're recording here on a Wednesday, and beautiful down here in Southwest Missouri. What's it like up there in Kansas?
Not too bad. A little chilly outside. I'm getting used to the weather fluctuating. Used to that as much in Atlanta. Pretty
yeah.
steady, but getting used to it.
Something you'll have to get used to pretty quick too, because you guys, I mean, your season will go right back into it too. So
Yeah.
But anyway, first I would like to talk draft, and what was that moment like for you, and what was the first thing you did after being drafted?
I was actually it was really interesting kind of seeing how the draft worked. I think that was the first year they did it on Apple TV, setting it up that way. So my mom was working, my dad went to go pick her up, and it was just me and my grandfather at the house. So when I got picked and I got all the phone calls, I was trying to talk to my grandfather about it, but I think he was a little overwhelmed. But it was an amazing moment. I called my parents right after, but no, definitely enjoyed the moment.
It's awesome. Definitely a good moment to have too, because
Yeah.
I only have that dream of being drafted. I never got drafted, so any sport at that, and just to see people's names and kind of get to celebrate with family and friends always seems like an awesome thing. So
Yeah.
But next, I'd like to give a little bit of a background for the fans who don't know much about you. You attended Georgetown University from 2022 to 2023, and you had a 24-4 record there. You posted 12 clean sheets in those matches, and you came up with 86 saves overall. What helped you lead to that success in college?
I think just the drive that originated from not starting my freshman and sophomore year. And I didn't start my junior year either. I was actually third string. And my coach kept telling me, control what you can control. And that's kind of the way I live my life. When things are getting hard and you don't get what you want, just continue to keep trying to control certain things like my work ethic. So every day I said I'd be the first one to the facility, last one to leave, and hardest worker every training session, regardless if it mattered or not to the coaches, because I think it would help me slowly get better over time, both mentally, physically, just everything. And just I eventually got my shot and told myself I've been preparing for this. So I just kind of went into it with confidence, and it was kind of like you got nothing to lose. So just go out and be yourself. So that's kind of how I approached the situation. And I think it's carried me through not just soccer, but just everything.
Awesome. And I mean, you mentioned all that. How do you keep that mentality and be able to transfer that over to the pro level? Because things get a little bit harder from there.
Yeah, of course. Nothing's given. And especially coming in as a third string under John and Tim, who are both great goalies, you just kind of work on yourself. And I think when you focus on other guys, that's where you get lost. So I've just been trying to work with our goalie coach here and just slowly work on my game and just get a little bit better, 1% better every day. And I think that's the mentality you got to approach everything and try to get here as early as I can, see how much extra work I can put in. Because I'm young. It's not like I have a ton of obligations yet outside of soccer. So definitely that.
Awesome. And I mean, speaking of that pro level, you mentioned Amelia and Pulse Camp there. That kind of leads into my next one. What's your relationship like with them, and who do you go to most for the advice at the moment?
I think I have a pretty good relationship with them. Being the new guy, I think they like to make some jokes and, mess with me, which is great. It makes you feel part of the team. I think I mainly go to Tim more so for advice just because he's a lot older and he's been in the game for so long. I think when you have a career that long, you're doing something
Yeah.
right.
I mean, they
So
call him the brick
yeah,
wall for a reason.
yeah, exactly. So just kind of learning from him. I rode with him all the preseason every day, and I was just, as a rookie, you're not supposed to like overwhelm the older guys, but I use that time to ask about every question, soccer related, non-soccer related, pretty much everything.
It's awesome. And well, now we go ahead and talk your pro debut. What was going through your head when you got on the field for that
Oh,
first
it's just
match?
yeah. It was just definitely nice to play games again. It's been a little break since college, and especially ending on a loss, I was ready to redeem myself.
Yeah.
And what's nice too is we lost on a PK the last game of college, and so thankfully I was able to redeem myself and win on a PK save this game. And
Yeah.
a weird fun fact that my first debut in college, we won 2-1, and I saved a PK to win the game. And then this game we won 2-1, and it was like my only PK shot that season.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So that was a little thing I recently thought of that was interesting to me.
Yeah, you mentioned that. And the game went on and everything. You come up with that huge save. What was that like for you to help your team who also played great defense pretty much through the whole game as well? I mean, you all
Oh
end
yeah.
up coming out on top too. So
Yeah, no, I think it was really great working with those guys and just because I think or at least me personally, like I haven't gotten to know the guys too much on that
yeah,
team. So going through just a game like that, especially against Houston, which has a lot of great players, I think it brings you closer as a team because you're working towards a goal.
yeah,
So the fact that I could help them, I think hopefully they feel same way about me and just want to work for each other, tighten that connection.
that's great. Great. And well, hopefully we can see that connection this
Yeah.
weekend as you guys open up at the Rock Chalk Park, and it's going to be the season debut there for you guys.
Yeah.
What's your all's mindset heading into this one after a big road win?
Just control what you can control. Just put your head down and like our whole mentality is score goals, don't let goals in. Plain and simple. Win. I think when you try to make it too complicated, you overthink things. So I think going in with that mentality will give us the best chance for success.
Awesome. Well said. Well, congratulations on the first win, and hope it continues for you guys. And good luck this weekend, and take care.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, no problem.
Great stuff from him and SKC2. Can't wait to see him on the pitch. I mean, it's going to be fun. But yeah, Sporting got the big dub last week, as we mentioned. They move up on the table again, as we mentioned as well, and return home to take on the Galaxy this week. Another even matchup, in my opinion. The Galaxy can score a lot, though, if you don't contain them. Sporting will have to defend well against them and get in the attack early, because if you let them score early, they just go, go, go. And we've seen it at Sporting Kansas City over the last few years where the Galaxy just come in and they score, but they don't have Chicharito anymore. They don't have him anymore. So it's going to be a different atmosphere, but they can do it. They can still do it. The Galaxy have always been a pretty decent team and one of those foes that Kansas City likes to take on. So, but if the back line can play well and support Melia, the brick wall should be fine. Should be fine. I like SKC here at home yet again. 3-1, I want to say. I think they get some stuff going. Shalloway gets a goal. Tommy gets a goal. And maybe Agata. It's been a while. I just want to see him celebrate. He has some fun celebrations. But on that note, we head into the local sports update brought to you by Trackside Burgers. They're open at 1515 West 10th Street. Go get one of Chef Mike's specialties. And, well, we talk high school baseball, and it's going on now. Joplin heads to Pittsburgh, Kansas tomorrow. Game is set for 1 p.m. Carl Junction will play at Baxter Springs today at 5 p.m. Then tomorrow they take on Mack County at 10 a.m., followed by Camdenton at 12 p.m. And then Carthage will take on Hillcrest at the Roy B. Shaver Classic there in Neosho, and Neosho will host that classic, and their bracket will be released as well. I could not find anything there, so Coach Helsel, get that up there for me, please, so we can share it and get it out there. And then Webb City will take on Marquette today at 7:30 p.m. And tomorrow they will play Rockbridge at 2:30 p.m. here in Webb City. And, well, now we head to the 2-minute warning brought to you by Hot Stone Pizzeria. Not feeling like cooking this weekend? Go grab some pizza by the slice over there as well. And the 23-5 Lions baseball team will host Washburn today at 6 p.m. Tomorrow at 1 p.m. and Sunday at 1 p.m. Go catch them because you got some really good baseball, and I believe they're the number 4 team in Division II right now, so it's something to watch. As for softball, the 23-8 Lions will head to Claremore, Oklahoma to take on Rogers State in a doubleheader game. Today, they will take on them at 3 p.m., and Game 2 will follow. Tomorrow, they will head to Tahlequah to take on Northeastern State University in another doubleheader, with Game 1 at noon and Game 2 to follow. And, well, the end of another episode is here. And for Tony, Clint, Jensen, and myself, you guys have a great and safe weekend. And, yeah, hopefully everybody had a good spring break. Y'all up here in the 4 states get to head back to school. And, well, McDonald County and myself will be on spring break next week and get to go to opening day for the Royals, as I mentioned earlier in the show, and I'm excited for that one. So, yeah, opening day. We'll get to talk about it here next week on the Sports Timeout. You won't want to miss it. See you next time.